Let's start with something uncomfortable. If your English hasn't improved in the last year, it's not because English is hard, it's not because you're bad at languages, and it's definitely not because you're not talented. It's because your effort and your method don't match your goal. That's it. And today, I'm not going to motivate you. I'm going to show you what's really happening. You feel busy. But nothing changes. Think about your last 3 months. You probably watched English videos, saved useful phrases, maybe downloaded an app, maybe started a new course. You were active. But are you different? Do you speak faster now? Do you hesitate less? Do you feel calmer in conversations? Or do you still freeze? That's the real test. Because language improvement is not about activity. It's about transformation, and transformation leaves evidence. The input addiction. Here's the first real reason your English is not improving. You are addicted to input. Input feels productive. Watching, listening, reading. It feels safe. There's no pressure. No one is waiting for your answer. No one is judging your accent. You can sit quietly and learn. But fluency is not built in silence. Fluency is built in output. And most learners spend 80% of their time consuming and maybe 10% producing. That math will never create confidence. Never. You're training recognition, not reaction. When you watch English videos, your brain becomes good at recognizing patterns. You think, oh yes, I understand that. But understanding is passive. Speaking is reaction. And reaction must be trained under time pressure. If you never train quick responses, your brain never builds speed. And when someone asks you a question, your brain searches slowly. That search creates hesitation. Hesitation kills confidence. And once confidence drops, fluency feels worse than it actually is. The comfort zone lie. You might think, I just need more vocabulary. I just need better grammar. I just need to improve my accent. No, you need discomfort. Growth happens in discomfort. If your study routine feels calm and easy every day, you are not stretching. And if you are not stretching, you are not growing. Imagine going to the gym and lifting the same light weight for a year. Would your muscles grow? No. Language works the same way. If you never challenge your speaking ability, it will stay the same. You avoid the thing that scares you. Let's be honest. What part of English makes you uncomfortable? Phone calls, live conversations, speaking in front of others? That uncomfortable area is exactly where your improvement is hiding. But instead of practicing that, you practice what feels safe. You rewatch lessons. You review grammar. You listen again. But you don't expose yourself. Avoidance protects your ego, but it also protects your weakness. And that's why nothing changes. You practice randomly. Another big problem. Your learning is scattered. One day pronunciation, next day vocabulary, next day nothing, next week motivation again. There's no system. Without structure, effort leaks. Progress requires repetition in the same direction, not random effort in random directions. If you don't have a daily speaking structure, your growth depends on mood, and mood is unreliable. The I'll start when I'm ready. Myth, be honest. Have you ever told yourself, I'll speak more when my grammar improves. I'll talk confidently when my accent gets better. I'll join conversations when I feel ready. You're waiting for confidence to appear before action, but confidence comes from action, not preparation. Every fluent speaker once sounded awkward. The difference? They kept speaking anyway. They didn't wait to feel ready. They trained until readiness arrived. You don't measure real progress. How do you know if you're improving? Because you finished a course? Because you learned 50 new words? That's not measurement. Real progress is, can you respond faster? Can you explain your opinion clearly? Can you speak for 2 minutes without freezing? If you don't measure output, you can't see growth. And when you can't see growth, you feel stuck, even if you're not completely stuck. The emotional layer. Let's go deeper. Sometimes your English isn't improving because you're afraid to test it. You don't want proof that you're not as good as you think. So you stay in theory. Theory feels safe. Real conversation exposes gaps, but exposure is the only way gaps close. You cannot improve what you don't confront. The hard truth. Your English is not improving because you're consuming more than producing. You're staying comfortable. You're avoiding pressure. You're inconsistent. You're not measuring speaking ability. And here's the powerful part. None of those problems are about intelligence. They're about behavior, and behavior can change. The turning point. There's a moment when learners realize, I don't need more information. I need more repetition. That moment changes everything. Because then you stop searching for new tips and start applying the basics daily. Daily speaking, daily correction, daily stretch. Not glamorous, but effective. So now you see the problem clearly. It's not talent, it's not age, it's not memory, it's structure. And now we fix it. Not with motivation, with a system. The 90-day reset plan. If your English has been stuck, you don't need a new app. You need a reset. For the next 90 days, your only goal is this: build speaking speed, build reaction time, build comfort under pressure. That's it, not perfection. Speed and comfort. Rule 1, daily output. Before input. This changes everything. Most learners start their day with input, watching, listening, reading. From now on, you start with output. Before you consume anything, speak for 5 minutes. About anything. Your day, your plans, something you watched yesterday. Why? Because when you speak first, you activate production mode. Your brain stops being lazy. It starts building sentences instead of just recognizing them. And when production becomes daily, fluency accelerates. Rule 2, timed response training. Here's a powerful exercise. Set a timer. Ask yourself a random question. Give yourself 5 seconds to start answering. Not perfect, not impressive. Just start. The goal is speed. If you allow yourself unlimited thinking time, translation creeps in. But when you reduce time, your brain adapts. It becomes faster. And fast thinking builds natural speech. Do this daily for 10 minutes. It feels uncomfortable. Good. That means growth is happening. Rule 3, weekly discomfort exposure. Once a week, do something that scares you slightly. Join a live discussion. Speak in a group. Record a long monologue. Call someone in English. If your practice never includes discomfort, your level never shifts. Growth requires exposure, not constant anxiety, but controlled exposure. You train your nervous system to stay calm while speaking. That's where real improvement happens. Rule 4, track speaking, not studying. Stop tracking how many lessons you finish. Start tracking how many minutes you speak. That number matters more. If you speak 10 minutes daily for 90 days, that's 900 minutes. That's 15 hours of real speaking practice. Most learners don't even reach 3 hours in months. Output time creates fluency, not note-taking. The disciplined conversation. Now let's talk honestly. There will be days you don't feel like practicing. There will be days you're tired, busy, distracted. Those days matter most because consistency builds identity. If you only practice when motivated, you will always restart. But if you practice even when unmotivated, you build strength. English improvement is boring sometimes. Repetition is not exciting, but repetition works. The identity shift. Right now, you may see yourself as someone trying to improve English. That identity keeps you in beginner mode. Instead, shift to, I am someone who trains English daily. That subtle difference changes behavior. When training becomes part of who you are, skipping feels wrong. And identity-driven habits last longer than motivation-driven habits. Why most people stay stuck for years? Because they restart constantly. New method, new teacher, new strategy, new hope, but no long-term repetition. You don't need a new method every month. You need one method repeated consistently. Mastery comes from depth, not variety. What will change? If you follow this after 30 days, you respond faster. After 60 days, you hesitate less. After 90 days, you feel different, not perfect, but calmer, more automatic, more confident, because your brain finally adapted. Fluency is adaptation, nothing magical, just neural speed built over time. The final truth. Your English was not improving because you were protecting comfort. Once you accept discomfort as part of growth, progress becomes predictable. You don't need to be the smartest. You need to be the most consistent. You don't need perfect grammar. You need faster reaction. You don't need more vocabulary. You need more repetition. Final message. 6 months from now, you will either be at the same level or be clearly stronger. That decision is not made by talent. It's made by daily behavior. And now you know exactly what to do. Not complicated, not glamorous, just structured, repeated output. Closing. If this message felt direct, it's because stagnation needs honesty. On English Talk Every Day, we focus on what works, not what sounds good. If you're serious about breaking out of your plateau, start today. 5 minutes, then tomorrow again, and again, and again. I'm Elena, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Now go train. Not someday, today. There's a moment when learners realize, I don't need more information, I need more repetition. That moment changes everything, because then you stop searching for new tips and start applying the basics daily. Daily speaking, daily correction, daily stretch, not glamorous, but effective.